Okay, so we're working on our vacation project, and I'm going to show you how to set up a Google site because that's what we're going to be using for this one. So right now I'm here on Google. I went to google.com, and it's important that you go to google.com and not just like the normal, just use the search bar. We want google.com because you have this stuff up here. So we have Gmail, we have images, we have our dot dots. We want our dot dots. We go there, and if we go down here, so I have a bunch of stuff. I have classroom, doc, sheets, whatever. I want sites. So I go there. And then I usually wait for a minute. My computer's a little slow today. Okay, here we go. So I want a new blank website. So I'm just going to choose blank. Then I'm going to drink my coffee while the computer catches up. Okay, so if you use something like WordPress or Weebly or Bluehost or any of those, you have a whole lot more control over how it looks. You get to change the fonts a little bit more. You have all kind of other stuff you can do. Google Sites is fairly basic, but it's included with the G Suite, which we have through the school, and that's free. So we're using that. And once you know how to use that, then you could use any of the other ones without problems. Okay, so when we first get here, this is our website. What I usually do is I give it a name. So it's Spiller AQR Vacation. AQR Vacation automatically goes there. This is our landing page. So if somebody clicks on your little link, this is where they show up. So we're going to do a lot with this because this is really ugly. We're going to change it. We're going to make it look pretty. But first, I'm going to just kind of give you the tour. So right here, so you see some stuff up at the top. You see some stuff over here. If you hover over stuff, you get all kind of options and stuff like that. So if you've never done this before, it's a little overwhelming at first, but it's not, once you get used to it, it's not that big a deal. So this right here, this pane on the right, this is called your dashboard. This is basically this is where you live while you're creating a website. So you notice it has insert. This is where all your content comes from. So if you want to add text, you want to add pictures, everything comes from right here on this insert part. Pages, so that's like you can add pages to this. So you know how like normally you go to a website, they have different options, like you have to shop, or like if you're at a, let's say you go to West Marine, which is a boating store, you've got the section for like sailboats, you've got the section for like water safety, for women's clothes, for men's shoes, whatever. You've got all those options. Well, those are all separate pages, and that would be added here. So right now I just have home. If I wanted to add a page, I would just go right here, click the plus, I would give it a name. So since this is a vacation project, I'm just going to call this flights because I know I'm going to have flights. I hit done. It automatically takes me to my new page. And notice this is now a tab up here. So if I click on here, it takes me back to home. If I click here, it takes me to flights. Right now I have the menu up here, but if you go to this, the navigation settings, you have the option to change its spot. You could put brand images on there, like if you have a logo, whatever, you can have announcement banners. Right here, see how it says mode top? That means that my menu is right here. You can change this and you can put it along the side. And now you have the little 3 lines that you click on. And if I click on it, it gives me my navigation pane over here. So just for fun, I'm going to leave it like that. Okay, so that's pages. And then the next one is themes. So themes is the overall appearance. Google Sites is super limited with this part. So if you go to like WordPress or one of those, you have all kinds of options, and they're like free options and then super fancy options that you have to pay for. Google Sites has 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5. You could choose 6. You could choose from 6. It's Google. It's free. Maybe I'll go here. But see, like, luckily you can change the color a little bit, but it's pretty ugly. I'm going to go to simple. And then this one, so font style, you can't really, there's not a lot to choose from. So you could do classic, which looks more like that. You have like 3 font styles. You can change the color of it though. So like, say I wanted more like maroon. Gosh, that's ugly. Okay, I'm going to leave it like this for a second because I'm going to change that. Okay, but so that's your themes. So we're going to go back to insert, and we need a few things. So we're doing our vacation project. So that's what this is for. And you can set it up a couple of different ways. You can either set everything up on your home page. So like here I am on my home page. So when I was playing with this the other day, I decided I'm going to go to Norway. Okay. So I can put all of my little pieces right here on this. So I could have my flight, I could have my hotel, I could have my food, my outings that I'm going to do. I could have that all here just as little sections on my homepage, or I could have a page for each section. That's completely up to you. Like either way is fine. It's totally up to you. But so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change this because this is ugly and it's driving me nuts. So I'm going to change the image. You have two options. You can either upload an image that you already have, or you can select an image either from what they have, which is really limited, or you can search something online. So I'm going to put Norway because that's where my little pretend vacation is. Okay, so I get all these images in Norway, so that I would just like pick one out. This is probably a good banner image. Let's try that. So this part right here is called your banner. So when you put a picture in, it automatically kind of darkens it so that you can see the writing better. If you want it brighter, you just hit that and it undarkens it. So that's pretty good. I like that. So I'm going to put Norway vacation, or just Norway. Hooray. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some stuff in. So I know I'm going to, okay, let me undo that. I want to add some stuff in, and to add stuff in, you go right here. So you have several options. You can either choose from like a text box, an image, something from your drive, which we're going to attach in a minute, or you can pick layouts that have already been created for you. Sometimes that's the easiest. So I'm going to click this first one because then I could put a picture and I can also say something about it. So I'm going to put vacation to Norway. And then I would want to describe that. So I am planning a vacation for 4 people for 10 days to Norway. And then what I would do is I would give the specifics, like I'm leaving on February whatever, and I'm returning on this day. So we do that. Okay, so in my last video, I talked a little bit about flights. I was pretending that I was leaving on like February 14th and coming back the 25th, which is actually 11 days, except that if you're flying from the US to Europe, on the way there, you lose a day, kind of. Like you leave on the 14th, but you get there, you're like flying overnight. So because they're like 7 or 8 hours ahead of us, or 6, depending on where you go. So you leave and then you get there the morning of the next day. So for this one, since it's a 10-day trip, I decided to say, okay, well, I'm leaving on the 14th, which gets me there the 15th. And then so I stay from the 15th to the 25th. Okay, so I'm planning a vacation. So I might insert another picture. I'm going to put Norway again. I'm going to select an image. And this time I want like the fjords or something. So Norway has these, it's kind of like a river between these mountains, and I call them the fjords. They're really cool. I misspelled that. So see, they're like, it's like super cool. It's these like really super deep little rivers cutting through these big mountains all over the place. I'm going to put this one in. I'm going to insert. So now I've got this, right? Okay, so on our vacation, we had several sections that we needed. We needed the flight section. We needed the hotels. With Norway, I was looking. So let's say, so this is my flight. So I would include, I would change this background image too, because this is ugly. I would include like what the individual cost is per person, and then what your total cost is, when you're leaving, when you're getting there, like if it's a nonstop or you have to stop somewhere. And then you might want to insert a screenshot of your itinerary that you got on like Expedia or whatever website you used. But don't book any actual flights. Okay, but so now I have home and flights, but I want to add a page for my hotel or for where I'm staying. So I go over to pages. I do add, and I'm going to put house rental. because when I was looking a while ago, or yesterday, I figured out that it's super cheap to rent a house in Norway. Who knew? So first, I'm going to change this. This is just, it's so terrible. I didn't really want to upload. Okay. I'm going to cancel that. I'm going to go to select image. I'm going to put Norway Village. There's a cute one that's on all the pictures. I forget the name of it. This one with all the little red houses, super cute. Okay, I'm going to put this for my background image. Ta-da! So it looks like I'm renting a house, right? Okay, so notice how like this is kind of over my house. I don't really like it right here. I can always widen this out. And then I can change the alignment to move it over. Ta-da! I can't change the font on this, and that's part of Google Sites. It's a kind of a pain. Now you can get around that. So if you had something that you wanted to put up there and you wanted it to be like really cool with cool fonts, you could always make it in Canva and then just import it straight up as a picture. So let me show you. I'm just going to call it example. So the other day I was playing around. I made myself a header image for the YouTube stuff. So I'm going to get rid of the title. I'm going to change image. In this case, I am going to upload because I did put that on my computer. So let me find this. I think it was called Math 2. Somewhere there it is. Okay, so this is one that I had created. And I wouldn't use it for my vacation thing, but this is just kind of an example. I created this in Canva. Usually you use the Facebook header image is the right size. We're not putting it on Facebook, but it's just the right size for this. I don't think that's what I used for this, but that's what you would use. Now notice it darkens it automatically, so I'm going to undo that. And so now whatever I created in Canva can be my top page. Now it has a title, it says math. You could have it say like, you know, flights or vacation project or whatever you want it to say, but you would create it in Canva, save it, like download it to your computer as an image file, and then you would upload it just like I did to change image here. Okay. So if I go back to like my house rental one, let me just go back to the home page. That's a really pretty picture. Okay, so from here, we're going to need to add, so where can I put this since it's out of the way? Maybe you're here. We're going to need to add in your total expense spreadsheet because this is a math class and we did create a spreadsheet for our little example for our vacation project. So I created an example spreadsheet. So right here, I just made up numbers. Seriously need hold music when oh, there we go. Okay, so that's my little vacation expenses. You know, I would change it. I would make it look pretty. But let's say I want to insert this. So what I would do is I would go here and I want to put like total expenses. So I'm going to go to insert page or just insert, sorry. And I'm going to put a text box because I don't really want it like this. I'm going to insert a file from Drive, but I want it differently. So first I'm going to put a title. So I can click on this, or if I double click right here, it pulls up this little wheel and I can choose. So I want text. And I don't want it normal. I want it to be a title or a heading. So I'm going to put travel expenses. I have that. That's my heading. Notice over here, like when I hover over, I have these options. You can change the way this looks. So let's say I want it to be a little bit different color. Let's say I want to like make it have a darker background. I would hit that and it automatically gives me a darker background and puts this. So I could do the same here if I wanted to, or I could do it this way. Da-da-da. You can even, as the background, you can put an image. So like if I wanted to, I could go image. You can either upload or select. I'm just going to select a random one just to show you how it works. So see, eyes looks good. Ta-da! So I have travel expenses and it just puts this picture in the background, which is kind of handy. It looks like Norway, looks to be good. Okay, again, you can brighten it or not brighten it. This one's kind of a dark picture anyway, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so we want to insert our spreadsheet that we made. If you made your spreadsheet in Excel, then you would take a screenshot of that. So if you're on a regular computer, you would use like a snipping tool. If you're on a Chromebook, you hit, I think it's Control, Shift, and the funky button that's over the 6 or F6. It's got like a square and 2 vertical lines. It's right up at the top. So Control, Shift, and that, and then you can click and drag and select and highlight like what you want to save as an image, and you would just insert that. But if you have it as Google Sheets, then that's saved in your drive. So what I would do is I would go here on this Insert tab. I would go to Drive. And mine's called Vacation Example. Sometimes, so my drive is like, got tons of stuff in it. So sometimes it's hard to find things in my drive. So I'm just going to search it if it doesn't come up right away. First, it's just going to spin. Seriously need hold music. Okay, so I have a lot of folders. Let's see if it comes up right away. No. Okay, so I'm going to go up here. I'm going to search, mine's a Vacation Example. Yeah, here we go. So I want this one. So I'm going to have that. I'm going to hit Insert. Excuse me. It's not corona, it's just allergies. Okay. Notice it inserts it right in here. So now I have that. People can click on it, they can look. One thing that you want to do, and since it looks like it's just inserting it as a picture, but just in case, one thing that you would want to do is you would go here. Notice right here, I have this is my vacation spreadsheet, my Google Sheets, and it's locked. So what I would want to do is I would unlock it so that people could see. Because otherwise, if people try to click on it, it's going to give them some error message that says you need access to view this file. So I'm going to change this to, I'm going to change this to anybody with a link. So anyone with a link. I'm going to put done. I'm going to put viewer. You don't want to make it to where everybody can like change your file, because if somebody changes it, then that change stays and everybody sees what they changed. So keep them as a viewer. I'm going to hit done. So now if I go back here, so this is here, people can pull it up. I would make this better. Like I would put some bold here. You want to make it look really professional. Okay, so let's say your website's ready to go and you're done. You're like, okay, this is perfect. I want to turn it in. The way you're going to turn it in is, first off, you're going to publish it. So we're going to go to publish. And you're going to go to, okay, it says anyone at Humble ISD. That's what we want. And you can change this name. So I'm going to put Spiller. So then this is going to be like sites.google.com/humbleisd.net, blah, blah, blah. But really, like if you're sharing, you would give them a link anyway. So I'm going to hit publish. And then what you'll do is, if you're submitting it in a Google slide or in just Schoology in general, you can go to this copy publish site link. Like you could share it with me, but this gets tricky because a lot of times when you try to share people, it accidentally transfers ownership to that person and you can't change it anymore. So that's not cool. So I'm going to put done on that. The easiest way is to go ahead and publish it and then go here, create a link. So publish site link, I would copy a link, and then you would paste that link into Schoology or Google Slides or however you're turning that in. So that's the way you do that. Okay, so this is basically it. So you're just going to make sure you go through the instructions, make sure you have all the stuff that you need for your project, and everything you have, you're going to put it right here on this. You know, again, you can change things. You have quite a bit of control. Not a huge amount, but, you know, better than nothing. You can also, like ours is a fairly simple thing, but you could also, like, if you're getting fancier, you can insert other things. Like you can insert sheets, you can insert Google Forms if you're trying to collect information. You can insert like YouTube links. You can embed videos, that kind of stuff. This is just a really simple website, but you can make it more complicated if you want to. But okay, so that's how to create a basic website.